This is recording 678678. Again, you can find me at www.christinastation918.com. Okay, so this decode is going to be more connections, okay? And it's going to be kind of all over the place. Just different things that I've decoded over the past couple of weeks. Okay, so right before I fell asleep last week, I was going back. Somebody was showing me something in my brain from when I was little, when I lived at the first house in Globe on 11th or 12th Street. And what I had done was, I was only like 5 or 6 years old, and I came up with the brilliant idea. Again, this is ice rape. It's not me. I'm being robotically controlled. But anyway, I quote unquote, okay, so anyway, I came up with this brilliant idea that if you butter the bread before you put the toast in the toaster, that it would be toasted and buttered when it comes out, and you could save a step. And so I buttered my bread, and then I put it in the toaster, and then the toaster caught on fire. And then my mom freaked out. Oh my God, you set the toaster on fire. So anyway, they were showing me this because I'm I know this goes to something, but I can't figure out what it goes to. So anyway, I'm thinking about when my stepdad, Jeff, he used to make hot dogs and cheese and wrap them up in tortillas and fry them in butter. And I'd be like, oh, make more, make more, make more. And so I'm they were showing this, but I don't remember what they were showing me. And then I figured out something that she did, or terrorism that she planned based around this, but I can't remember what it is now. So I tried to go back to, I noted it down. I tried to go back to it, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, this is what I could figure out. So I just put the note, toaster, butter, fire. Okay. So this is what I found in it. So Sturgis is in it, and Sergio is in it. Asteroids is in it. Star Wars. Asteroids 1979. Star Wars. Halley's Comet. So that connects to the 409 when I was also little in the same house. And I wrote on the wall. I've got a picture of my son's apartment in the bedroom that I was in. She controls our everything about us using AI. So all of our addresses, all our lives are fixed. Everything is decodable. But anyway, so the room that I was in, his room, she had all kinds of strange, well, I told you in the previous recordings about all the lithographs and stuff. I told you all of that. But I mean, the paint job was strange, but it's it's not intentional. You can tell she iced the painters, okay? And you know how she loves to set the scene. So anyway, I took a picture of this one area by the door, and it looks like a little, and it's done with paint, the wall paint, and it looks like a little tornado, okay? And then when I saw that, I realized she was trying to make me go back to when I was little, living in Globe, and what I had done on the inside of the closet door. Well, it was the wall, the closet door is open, and the closet door itself. And then it's not the door, but it's like a wall, the skinny part of the wall, inside of the closet. So I scribbled on the wall. I colored on the wall with crayons or markers or something. And my mom was like, you're going to go scrub that off. You're going to go scrub that off. And then she's like, I don't want you to quit scrubbing until all of everything is off the wall. Okay. And I was like 5 or 6 years old. She gave me 409 and I couldn't get it off the wall. No matter what I could do, I couldn't get it off the wall. And then she'd come in and check it and it would still be on the wall. And then I was crying and scrubbing and crying and scrubbing. And then I ended up scrubbing like a hole in the wall, like it was like concaved in, like in parts of it. I was trying so hard to get it off of the wall, and I wasn't allowed to move until I got the marking off the wall. So anyway, all of that is an ICE event. She ice raped my mom. She ice raped me. She used AI. And so I was able to connect that to, that's a whole bunch of ciphers that I decoded. And I know you instantly know 4 + 9 is 13. And then, you know, it also goes to 419, the future Oklahoma City bombing. So then I'm in Oklahoma City and I'm in the bedroom and she's got like this paint job done. And it's like similar to the height and everything of where I was scrubbing when I was little. So I go back in time as a child and she's like trying to do like LSD, trippy, trying to trip me out. Meanwhile, my poor son is like, what is my mom? My mom keeps writing these books. She's saying she's decoding ciphers. I just want my life to be normal. Why does my mom, what in the hell is going on with my mom? My poor children. And I'm like, I'm really not crazy. I'm really not crazy. But I'm like, you'll figure it out soon enough. I'm not crazy. We're being stalked, and that's what's going on. And anyway, I know both of my children know that now, that we're all being stalked by Gene Roberts and her Manson occult. But when they first heard this, it's very alarming. It's very scary, and it sounds very psychotic, but it's very true. It's very real. In fact, the entire city of Tulsa is being stalked by Gene Roberts and her Manson occult, as she is holding the United States hostage. Okay, and I've got her turned in for it now. So anyway, so she's making me do this like trippy thing. So I took a picture of the wall of this like funnel and I decoded it. Goes to also her future planning of doing Hurricane Katrina. So you have to see all code around 409. So the Halley's Comet, so this is in advance. So this tells you early on. So you know the Sturgis, remember the motorcycle? And then see all code on that. And then Sergio is my stepdad, who my mom was married to before she married Jeff. And then see all code there. And then, so that goes to the Iran hostage crisis in 1979. So it's pre-advanced. Like it's like I'm finding out she's getting ready to take hostages. So anyway, no, Gene, she's in my brain already trying to like blame everybody else as usual. No, it is Gene Jernigan Robertson or Manson occult. I've already proven it. I've already decoded it detail by detail by detail by detail, books and books and books and books. She needs to stop blaming everyone else. So anyway, so Halley's Comet, so the Comet, like the Comet cleaner, like the abrasive. Okay, so that will go to the 409. And so then that is in advance of Halley's Comet happening in 1986. And I was like, remembering Halley's Comet, but I was like, it says on Wikipedia that Halley's Comet was in 1986. And I'm like, it was later than that, or it was earlier than that. I remember it being later than that, but it says 1986. So I'm like, I don't remember Halley's Comet in 1986, but also look at that Hall Eyes, Halley's Comet. So the whole eyes is the hole. Okay, you scrubbed a hole in the wall. And then the hall, it's like a hall entry, but it's a closet entry. And then closet probably combines with Comet, and that probably decodes out to more. So it's in advance of Halley's Comet. So this goes to also, so the HC, it also goes to high C, and it also goes to Hillary Clinton. So more evidence back of her stalking the Clintons. And then also in 1986, I lived in Halsey Village. And notice Haley's comment has 2 L's, and then also it has Alley Cat, and then it has eyes. Okay, so see the recording on the Alley Cat early in the 70s in Globe when I lived on East Street in grade school. And so all right, now I'm trying to talk through this. I know you guys are listening to my recordings and listening to me make reports against Gene Jernigan Roberts and Romancing a Cult, but in my brain, they're literally trying to, like, I can't explain how they do this, but I can feel them like censoring my voice inside and pulling it to another person. So there's people that are pretending to be me or pretending that I'm them, and they're trying to steal my childhood and steal my identity is what they're trying to do while I'm talking. So know you're taking my recording straight forward, and I know you know by now who's been busy trying to steal my identity and trying to steal my recordings. And you know what? They were told to quit. I hope people quit. If they didn't quit, I mean, you're going to be held accountable. You're going to go to jail because you're covering up for a terrorist and a trafficker. So anyway, okay, so that goes to the Alley Cat, and then that's probably that probably goes to, because the Alley Cat goes to Stray Cat Strut, and Strut, that goes to Sturgis. There's Strut right there. So my first tape that my mom bought me was the Stray Cats. Remember I told you that? Okay, so he has, after he had the Stray Cats band, he had the Brian Setzer Orchestra. So you can see Setzer in here too. So she's also using Setzer, and she's using freaking, and look there, Haley's with the 2L. I see what she's trying to do there. She's trying to tell a bunch of goddamn lies. Well, all of what you're saying is true. Everything Gene says is a lie, but I can see where she's trying to overlap and Ring's lies is what she's trying to do. Okay, so remember in 6th grade, I told you E.T. was my favorite movie. Okay, and then Elliot was a little star character in the movie, and so was Drew Barrymore. Even her name, Drew Barrymore. So look at that. So I drew on the wall. And Drew Barrymore and I look a lot alike. It's crazy. Like, it's really crazy. So anyway, and I can tell that she's been really stalked. And I can tell by the movies that she's been in that Gene Roberts has also been stalking her. So anyway, so the Brian Setzer Orchestra and the Stray Cat. So Elliot, so there's Elliot right there. See the ELL in Allie and in Haley's. And then Alma School, there's Alma School. And the Alma School in Southern. So anyway, okay, so that's all in here. So she's trying to wrap it around and trying to like cover it up and trying to tell lies. Like I don't understand what her fascination is with kissing Steven Spielberg, my speech is being controlled. They know Christina, just continue. Okay, so they're not upset with you. They're really furious at the people controlling your speech, and they really want this over with. They want Gene Jernigan Roberts arrested. They want this over with. So they don't want you to quit decoding. They want you to be able to keep making reports. For those of you who are trying to now control my speeches, I talk through Christina, and while I hear you back in thinking yourselves, you people will end up fried to death. So, no, I'm not playing around. I'm not. So somebody is controlling my speech here, there too. Okay, so anyway. Okay, so 1986, and then Alley Cat, and then AIW 70 on East Street, and then in March 1986, during its latest visit to the inner solar system, Halley's Comet became the first comet to be observed in detail by a spacecraft. ESA's GIOTTO mission. Now, remember, I told you my second grade teacher's name was Kunigado. Okay, and you can see GIOTTO mission. And then providing the first observational data on the structure of a comet nucleus. Okay, so this is also obviously connected to Apollo. Okay, so you're going to have to see all code NASA. I decoded a bunch of crime that she committed within NASA, including the Apollo mission. Okay, so there's a lot of damage that she caused NASA, a whole bunch. Like it's angering, like going back in time and seeing what she did. Damage that she caused astronauts, all the damage that she caused the space industry. It's really, really bad. So anyway, so that's connected to that. So then also in this, the toaster butter in the fire, Gene Roberts is also making a reference to my grandpa Stacia. My grandpa Stacia, my dad's dad, he was in the Toastmasters, which is like a speech giving club. And so someone said to me, look at you, now you're Roastmasters, but I'm not. I'm decoding ciphers is what I'm doing. So anyway, while I was remembering that about my grandpa, Gene Jernigan Roberts, you know, our family's killer, and yet our family's, you know, self-reported savior and protector is going, thank you, thank you, thank you, in my brain. And I'm like, if somebody doesn't fucking arrest her, I'm sorry for the slurring. So she slurs in my, they know she's controlling her sentences. Okay, so she's controlling the words. You guys are desperate, you're sick, and you're dead. Okay, so Toastmasters, and then inside that is Rhett Butler, and then Frankly My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn, and then World War II, and then Beretta is in that. And the Beretta, that's going to go to my 5th grade year, and then, you know, all of her bar stuff. And then she refers to herself as Barracuda. Now, remember when I was in New Orleans and Slidell, and everybody that was on with me back then still remembers this, and they were angry, furious. She stopped that parade. She purposely invited her friend who worked at the VA, wanted to have her over. She was having a difficult time, a breakup with her boyfriend or something, wanted to have her over. And she's like, they're having a parade downtown. Let's go to a parade. She trafficked the woman and was trying to blame it on my dad because she's got cameras in the showers. Okay, you know that from earlier recordings. And she's trying to like frame the military for it. So she's like, what's she trying to do? Like kick her friend off a little something, or let me traffic you. She made sure the lady left behind. She made sure the woman left behind a mock razor. And then Jean was like, in my brain, pointing to me as that some sort of signature for herself or something. Like, I don't know what the hell she's fucking doing. Okay? But anyway, so, and if you're alarmed about cameras in the showers, again, she's got cameras in every house, everywhere. I know in Tulsa, it's everywhere. So if it's like that in Tulsa, it's probably like that everywhere. So you're just going to have to make somebody in the government fess up to you. So anyway, she's got cameras in the bathrooms in the White House, but you already know that because I've already reported that in previous recordings. So anyway, we were in Slidell, so she's like, well, let's go to this parade. And so we went to this parade, and this is before I knew that she was the bad guy. So we went to this parade, and then all of a sudden the parade didn't start. So she was like doing some kind of signaling. I don't know how to explain this. I could tell she was acting physically funny, and I could tell she was like communicating in mental telepathy, and she physically stopped the parade. The parade was like delayed. Okay. And so we left with like a cheerful spirit, and I even joked around, and I'm like, that's like the unparade. And she's like, And then Hart came on the radio, Barracuda, and there were actual people on with me. And I know it was New Orleans. I know it was like Black Lives Matter, Black Panthers. I know it was serious people, and they were pissed. They were super fucking pissed. And she was like, they started playing, the radio was playing, or she iced them to, you know how she controls my playlist, and she controls Larry. So she's playing Barracuda, and they started getting effing freaking pissed. Like, she's acting like she's just going to control the city of New Orleans by stopping their parades for Jean Jernigan Roberts. They were pissed. They've been pissed about it for 9 years. This is the amount of control she thinks she has. So anyway, this stopping the parade, now you see that connects to 1979, the Iran hostage crisis, okay? With the parade, with the Joe Lopez, or I can't remember what his name is, Mr. Lopez from Globe, Arizona. Him coming home. I was excited for him to come home. The Marines, I was excited that he was coming home. Globe was his hometown, and the hostages were free, and the whole city was cheering. Okay, so now you jump ahead, and now everybody is like upset and sad because now it's the unparade. Jean literally did that, doing a sick little AIW effect. So anyway, so that's evidence right there, Barracuda, and then Hart, and then okay, so then I'm like, let me go read about Halley's Comet some more. So I read a little bit about it, and then at random, I'm like, let me do the math. Like, let me just do the numbers on this. So if you take 2100 minus 2061, it's 39, which is 13. If you take 2061 minus 1971, it's 90. If you take 2061 minus 1937, it's 85, which is 13. If you take 2061 minus 1976, it's 124. Those are all that's all three. That's 3 and 3. There's a whole bunch to this, okay? I'm not spelling it all out for you, but I'm giving you what you can't already figure out. Okay, so 2100 minus 1937 is 163. Okay, so in that is FAC and then Z, so it's faces. And then facts, FACZ. And then Falcon Field, it's a reference also to Falcon Field, which is in Arizona. And it's also a reference to Vision Quest. It's 2 movies I always get confused. They came out at the same time. Vision Quest and Lady Hawk. And then I found Lady Hawk last. I was looking for Lady Hawk, and then I'm like, Vision Quest. But Lady Hawk, I'm like, I should know Lady Hawk, and then I forget. So Vision Quest and Lady Hawk both go to that. And then Ventriloquist goes to that. So that says future signs of her planning to do the World Trade Center attack. It's future signs present day to the end, the Silent War. And then also the Trilogy of Terror, which goes back to my grade school years. See the Trilogy of Terror movie, the very end? Okay, and then something else she did. She made her fraud way through the Navy and arranged herself to be a Navy captain. And I just realized this. So what are the initials of Navy captain? NC, which is also North Chicago. She did that to mirror me because my childhood name is Nina Cook. My initials are NC, so as North Chicago. So she's trying to steal my identity, and she's trying to steal my life. Okay? Also, Mrs. Keegan next door. So Jack Cousteau is in that, the custard. You see all code on the custard, everything. And so Mrs. Keegan, and then Abbott and Costello is in that. Abbott and Costello, I forgot about that. When I was little in grade school, I freaking loved Abbott and Costello. And my favorite stand-up thing by them was Who's On First. Now I look back and I'm like, okay, there's something to see. Go play it. You'll see it talking about future terrorism, it talking about the World Trade Center attack, and it talking about terrorism after that. And it's literally, I'm literally going back in time, and I'm realizing, as she wants me to realize, that she's been trafficking me in a baseball trafficking Ponzi since I was born. But I've already figured that out. She's been running the baseball trafficking Ponzi before I was born. It's just that as soon as I was born, she was trafficking me in it. So, because it's all about baseball, it's called Who's on First. So then also, which goes to the Halley's Comet, is Club Nouveau situation number 9. That matches with the math here. Okay, and then back again, I'm still on the same thing, but I'm going back again to what I started with, the toaster butter fire. So if you use the initials, okay, of the event, the ice event, it's IBMBBI, and Bambi's in that too. IBMBBI So also something else I notice is Cinch, that also has my name in it. And then Miami, Oklahoma is in it, and Miami, Arizona is in it. Peterbilt is in it. Biltmore is in it. Seal Code on Little Miss Muffet that goes to the World Trade Center attack. Jean used that too in her theming to do the World Trade Center attack. So Little Miss Muffet, The Hobbit is in it. Seal Code on The Hobbit from when I was little in 1976. And then that would go again, Habit, and then that goes to her sinning on and her future cover up to cover up all of her terrorism. And then she's using her little fake little act or whatever where she, okay, so the Marshall Fields Christmas tree combines with the Chandler Tumbleweed Christmas tree. Also, in E.T., remember the famous phrase, E.T. phone home? Okay, so remember phony? Okay, the word phony, like a phony, a fake. You know how she's always trying to steal my identity? And she steals everything I decode, and she flips it and switches around. Okay, so that's part of her plan of doing the Silent War, which is present day to the end. And then also something else was, when I was little in grade school, I used to impersonate Julia Child. And Julia Child is a famous chef, okay? And she's English. And I used to love impersonating her. And I would impersonate her all the time. And it would make my mom laugh. And I look back and I see July Child. I'm the Scorpio Child, or the NWO baby, however you want to put it. July Child. So, but I mean, July, like 4th of July. Okay, so I look back and I realize here I'm doing an impersonation of Julia Child, and she's a cook, and then my last name at the time was Cook. And then here I find out, and then also Julia Child's initials, JC. And then I find out that I'm a Scorpio Child. And then also another thing I wanted to point out is my mom. This is another thing Gene Roberts did to me and my family, eyes raping us. And I bet she did it by breaking in. I bet she's been doing these nasty little break-ins for 60 years. But anyway, so my mom and Jeff had, in the 70s, they had like a little 8mm, little movie theater, a thing you could record movies and play the movies. It was before, remember the big gigantic freaking camcorders you could buy in the late 80s? I mean, this is way before that. It was like on a little film projector. Okay. So anyway, this is in the early 70s. So we used to go sledding. Okay. And we would go up north and we would go sledding in the snow. And then we would watch the home movies when we got home. And I used to think it was super funny because the film projector would always break and it would never play right, and it would always play backwards. And so I thought it was funny because I'm seeing myself going up the hill on the tube instead of down the hill on the tube. And so, and like my mom and Jeff, they would be like, "Oh my God." And they'd want to play the video right. But I'd be thinking it was funny. And I'd be like, play it again, play it again. I wanted to watch it backwards because it was so funny. So another thing Jean was using there was play it again, Sam. So she's making a reference to Son of Sam. And you know how people say back in the day playing things backwards and all that's demonic and all that. But it's also Alice in Wonderland. So it's probably the saying of everything playing backwards goes, it truly is satanic. Because that whole Alice in Wonderland, it's bringing us right to what? Revelations, which is where we are. We're in an Alice in Wonderland effect. Everybody has to figure out history and time, get Jean turned in. You've got people in Tulsa that are just all about Jean's satanic shit and helping her get away running this nasty damn con. She's a goddamn terrorist. She's got hostages. She's like... She has ballistics and nobody's like taking a concerted effort demanding that the police arrest her, demanding the police get the CIA. I got my website up. I let people know around the world this woman is a goddamn terrorist. She commits crime after crime after crime after crime after crime. I mean, we're literally in the end times. So anyway, there's more there. Play it again, Sam. So another thing that she did to me when I was young, another ice rape event. So I played this game with these girls when I was in a group home in like 8th grade, or I think I was like in 8th grade. But anyway, it was called Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. Okay, so all the girls, one girl lays down, okay, and then all your friends get on their knees around you, and then they put 2 fingers, you put out your 2, and see, that would go to World Trade Center attack there too. You put out your first 2 fingers on both your hands, and you put them underneath your friend or whoever's laying on the ground under their body, and then you start making up this story. And this is all that's all Charles Manson too, because that's what she does all damn day long, every damn day, with her little damn satanic demon occult. They sit and just make up shit over and over and over. It's just lie after lie after lie. But anyway, so you go around the room, or you go around the person laying on the floor, and then you say how the person died. So you're pretending that your friend died, and you're going around telling this scary, spooky story, adding on to it as you go around how they died. And then at the end you go, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board, and you chant it. And then you start lifting up with your fingers, and you're supposed to be able to elevate the person. Okay. So then people always go, oh my God, it works, it works, it works. Okay. So all of that's ice rape event. So you can tell it's Jean Roberts, Manson Occult, messing with us there. So looking at the initials of light as a feather, stiff as a board, it is fall and slab. The World Trade Center attack. Also, something else she did to us was using AI on us, getting us to make ourselves hyperventilate, okay? Which was like breathing really fast into a bag and then making yourself like pass out or whatever. So hyperventilate. So ventilating out of breath, that would be going with the World Trade Center attack, and also her suffocation plans, which I've got her so goddamn turned in. There's no way that's possible that could happen. And that would go to us, her using ice on us to hotwire the van. Okay. And then the air conditioning broke. So you can see Con Air in that. And then you can see the word bring in it, and you can see OKE in it. Okay. And then theater is in it. And then HOT is in it. And then Terre Haute. And then hot fashion, like hot means fashion. And then Terre Haute, Indiana. She's probably doing Hoot like Illuminati, but it's not. It's Jean Roberts and her Manson Occult. And then HAW, 100 Acre Wood, and White Power. Then something else she did when she did the World Trade Center attack was, you know how red, black, and white is Illuminati colors? So is, as I'm figuring out, nobody's explaining it to me, but everybody can see it everywhere, yellow and blue. I think yellow and blue has to do with some kind of I think that's Royal Navy. I think it has to do with the actual true royalty. Maybe that is the Illuminati, but it's actual royalty. Oh my God, Jean is disgusting. I don't know why they did not arrest her. So anyway, so when she did the World Trade Center attack, I know it looks like people in Al-Qaeda or the Taliban did it. They did not do it. She used robotic technology on him. She is the actual person who did it. She's admitted to it. She said she didn't care. I've decoded it. I've turned her in for it. She is the one who did it. And why is she running around allowed to run this ring and allowed to continue to commit terrorism? And why is everybody covering her ass? And I don't get that. Like, I know the military where I am locally is starting to get really, really aggravated, because why are you receiving preferential treatment and being allowed to run around running a con, which we all know you're full of crap? Like, why are you not being arrested? Like, why? You committed stolen valor too. Why are you not being arrested? How many military are out there who don't have benefits the way that they want to have benefits, but yet she's probably collecting a stolen VA check? How many military vets have gone to jail for anything, but yet, including Oliver North, but yet Jean Roberts just gets to get away with anything she freaking wants? This is insanity. So anyway, she used the red leaves because it was fall, and then the combination of the black smoke. And then also, you know how she killed Stephen Parent? He's one of the Charles Manson victims. She killed him in preparation for doing the World Trade Center attack, and probably in preparation for gunny sacking the other Stephen. So, and then, you know, she gunny sacked me too. Okay, so she planned to assault us as a cover-up for her getting away with doing the World Trade Center attack, which is probably the reason she killed Stephen Parent, because he was a sacrifice. So they were all sacrificed. Likely most of the murders that are happening now that you can pin down to Jean, they're all sacrifices. Everyone's a sacrifice. So anyway, September 11th, 2001 is inside Stephen Parent. I'm going to stop because I'm out of breath, and then I'm going to pick up and do another recording.